So we talked about how like all the cows have their in this Gopika's house, all the cows have their own calves, and all the cows and calves are very young looking. And we also got the example from Sri Ramayanam where King Dasharatha, he said every time he looked at Lord Sri Rama, he gained his youth back. And we also talked about how all the Nitya Suris in Sri Vaikuntham, they looked like around the age of 25, and every time you would look at them, they would look even younger. And in this way, the cows are very young looking, and Lord Krishna has personally like played with every cow, and so that is why they are very like healthy. And with Krishna's divine touch, all the cows gain very good health. And out of all the cows, Lord Sri Krishna likes the baby cows a lot because they don't have the thinking that they are their own protector. They always rely on their mother. And so similarly, this is how this Gopika also has her mindset. Like she is completely dependent on Lord and doesn't think that she can save herself. And we also talked about how there are like several groups of cows and calves that even no one, like they're countless. And the cowherd boys in the family are following their like dharma very nicely, as well as like the cowherd girls. Um, and they're very strong. They don't need anyone to milk the cows, even though there are numerous and countless cows. They don't need anyone to like. They don't need any other help to milk the cows, and they're very skillful in the things that they do. And we should also cultivate the habit of doing our responsibilities without being lazy. And this Gopika's family, they have the ability to go to their enemies' ground and defeat them on their ground. And we also talked about how like a devotee knows that every living being has Goshamanarana in it. So how can we say that this is our enemy? Well, uh, those who talk ill about Lord, those who don't like Lord, the devotees think of them as their enemy. And similarly, those who talk bad about Lord's devotees and try to harm them, Lord considers them as their enemies. And we had a example from Mahabharatam where Lord Sri Krishna, he considered Duryodhana as his enemy since he tried harming and gave trouble to the Pandavas who were his devotees. And the Gopika and her family don't have any doshams, like they don't think that they are the protector. They don't think that their family members are the ones that can like save them. They don't think that uh, and then thinking that someone who isn't your relative, but considering them as one, like they can help them either. And similarly, this Gopika's family, they don't have any of these like faults, and they're well aware of who they are, and they're completely dependent on Lord. And we talked about how this Gopika is like a golden creeper plant, and like how a creeper plant, it needs support to grow. This Gopika also is completely dependent on Lord, and she uh, she doesn't need any other support besides Lord Narayana. And we talked about how this Gopika is very beautiful, both physically and with like the jnanam and the bhakti and the vairagyam. And we talked about how jnanam turns into bhakti, and with that we can gain vairagyam, which is like detachment from the materialistic world. And similarly, this Gopika is also very detached from worldly things as well. And we also talked about how she is like a beautiful peacock, and wherever there are peacocks, there aren't any like poisonous animals. And we also talked about how peacocks uh, are compared to acharyas, because when the peacocks dance when it's about to rain. And similarly, when acharyas are filled with the thoughts of Lord, they start telling about Lord's anubhavam. And whenever people see peacocks, they get very happy, And similarly, with the association of an acharya, everyone also gets happy. And Anandal is saying, please come out. We want to see you, and we also want to hear your divine voice. We all came to your front yard, and we are waiting to see you. And we are singing the glories of the Lord, who is in the form of the dark, who is a dark hue of black, or like a hue of black. And also, like when the cloud is about to shower the rain, the color of that cloud, we are singing the Lord, who is in the color of that. And the Lord, and we are also talking about how, like, Lord Galamekha Swami, he is also in this form, so we can also interpret it as that. And another thing that we discussed is that if a cloud releases all of its rain, it turns back to the white color. But since Lord is eternally in the same color, he is full of mercy, and he is ready to shower us with that anytime. And Andal is saying, you're not moving, you're not saying anything, or you're not even coming out of your house. You are very wealthy in doing service to Lord, and you're still not coming out after we are singing the glories of Lord. Why? So please come out and let us do our Srivatam. And in this Pasuram, this Gopika is compared to Buddha Talwar, and the Divya Desham is Tirumohur, where the Lord Tirumohur, where the Lord is Kalamekha Swami.